saw your favorite show, man. I saw Ahsoka. I'm all up to date. I can.
Ayahuasca got some good reviews this week.
Yeah, I don't know fucking why. I mean, I do know why, but
You gonna bend the knee?
I didn't like it. I can I'll start right into it. No, I absolutely did not like this fucking episode at all. This was.
Are you just trying to be,
No, I genuinely didn't.
Or...
No, I genuinely did not like the episode just because of It felt like, well, first there's a couple things. It felt like it was fan service. The episode.
Of Mary Elizabeth Winstead's ass being trended. Is something with the episode where she gets a big ass shot?
No, not at all. No.
Oh, so maybe it's just old shit of that being resurfaced then.
Yeah. I like her. I think she's really good. She's usually good. She's really good in that Fargo season. I'm a fan of hers. She's terrible in the show. I don't think it's her fault. I think it's same with Rosario Dawson. I think everyone's pretty good actress or actor in the show. Just bad fucking direction or writing, and then strangely good direction for Hayden Christensen. I understand why people like this episode because it's fan service the episode. So if you like Clone Wars, or if you like Star Wars Clone Wars, I mean Rebels always comes into play with the show, but if you like Clone Wars, that's why people like this episode, because they made some Clone Wars scenes live action. They had all these Easter eggs to it, so all the nerds were able to connect to that. Nice, you've been watching One Piece. Yeah, One Piece is good, man. I started watching the cartoon, and it really follows it closely. Yeah, you know what? There's a couple things, man. Why didn't they make a live action Clone Wars? Yeah, I also kind of think. Besides from that, I mean, I was gonna get into this in my final thoughts. I'll bring it up now.
Like Disney X shit or the animated thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, but people like it, but it's like, why not make a live action version of that? But also this, why not make a live action Darth Vader show? Why not make a live action Luke Skywalker show? Why not go to the things people like?
Well, I mean, you shouldn't be saying why not about any of this franchise, because they're milking every single fucking udder available.
But they're not. They're still not, they're not going for what's obvious, though. You would think they'd go for what already sells. I mean, they're milking things, but they're not milking things that have worked. It's like they're milking all the wrong things. Make a Luke Skywalker show that's, I don't know, Sebastian Stan looks a lot like Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill at the time. You could put him in there. Or just do the deep fake shit that they've been doing. But I mean, if you look at Sebastian Stan next to Mark Hamill's face from Empire Strikes Back, this is Sebastian Stan on the right. Here's Mark Hamill. Yeah, I think you can cast him in there to play Luke Skywalker. I think that would work perfectly.
It's
even it's kind of creepy.
Some illegitimate child, because I've read some reports about a lot of men who don't DNA test their wives are finding out their children are from different people without them knowing it.
Yeah, maybe he is. Yeah, he's the Winter Skywalker.
Have you heard about that?
I have heard of that. Yeah, it's creepy. Yeah, blue milk in it, man.
What's the manipulative and vindictive and fucked up?
Watch the promo for this. Check this out.
And Horish.
You faced countless challenges, Ahsoka. And each one has only made you a stronger Jedi. The Force of Mortis' daughter is still with you. I've always believed in your potential. And now the entire galaxy sees what an incredible Jedi you are.
I have been trying to survive with Night Sisters for many years. The real performance is about to begin.
Lucasfilm logo. A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, but no title crawl. Oh well!
I applauded it for being different.
It broke new ground!
It's always so different, these Star Wars properties. But you know what? Here's a official review from them about Ahsoka here.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Voy Kurag.
Gotta clap for that.
Gotta clap for it. Gotta clap for it.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Amazing. Whoa. Very cool.
Wow.
That's like the fan service for this episode. That's how I feel watching this kind of like fan service that's kind of unloading. It's just all people who like that they're referencing shit they like, I guess.
Fan service in the end. It's just like
it's just kind of like
trying to hit self-fellatiating each other.
I mean, I'd say first off, it's just kind of putting in things they want to see. Like, I mean, like Mandalorian season 2 was all fan service, where it's like, oh, we're gonna have fucking Luke Skywalker in it. Oh, we're gonna do this. Like, you know.
Do you think they'll make some deep fake Mary Elizabeth Winstead porno with her in this outfit?
Probably. I mean, I guess that outfit just looks.
Porn. It's like you can type in like Mary Elizabeth Winstead alien, and then it'll be like a 30-minute fucking 3D rendered superimposed version.
I don't know. Her outfit to me is really fake looking.
Shit is leading to eventually.
I don't know. I just I always think with her outfit that it just looks like she's got these orange pants on that just makes me think it's too clean, and like, does she just always get these like Chinese what is it, like dry cleaned every day? Like, what's going on here? I mean, there is this Asian pilot who's now in every single series. He's in The Mandalorian. He's in Boba Fett. It's like this Asian rebel pilot is a big character for some reason. I don't get that one. I'm like, did anyone ask for that?
Jonathan Majors guy was in every single fucking movie before he got canceled.
Yeah, now it's the Asian
every
rebel
fucking
pilot.
Movie.
Let's see if he pops up in here. Oh, there he is.
And just push the shit out of him down your fucking throat.
Yeah, it's just like they can't get enough of this guy.
What did Jonathan Majors get canceled for again? I don't remember.
He like apparently strangled his girlfriend. Ugh. So
just one person? It wasn't like a fleet of women?
Well, more could come out. We'll see. Yeah, we were Kangs, man. When we were Kangs, he was Kang. Yeah. So Hayden Christensen's really good in this this episode, and it's weird because I've never liked Hayden Christensen in the prequels. Maybe it is a directing thing where like George Lucas just couldn't direct him, but kind of comes off good in this. The character feels different. I mean, I like the character choices better, but pretty good in it. Overall, like good in it. Everyone else really isn't, but he was. The music was good. It's been consistently good. It's actually a guy, Kevin Kiner. He's the Clone Wars composer, which of course he is, because this is Dave Filoni's show. This is directed by Dave Filoni too. This is the one that went to theaters. I don't know. The pacing was good for the first half, and then it like fucking shuts the fuck down. Shuts the fuck down, and then it slows down, and then it's shit. And then like a bunch of filler scenes, and then it ends. But yeah, I'll go through the plot. Basically, Hera shows up on the cliff that they were fighting at in the last episode, and then Ahsoka and Anakin, they're in this dream state thing, and he kind of is like trying to teach her a lesson or something in her dream, and kind of says to her that you have more to learn, Snips, which is his nickname for her from Clone Wars. So had to force those thing in, which I'm sure all the fanboys will love that shit. Neckbirds love that shit. And then Hera's son, Jason, who has force powers. Neckbeard.
Oh, you said Neckbird, which sounded a lot more interesting.
Yeah, actually, well, that's a. Yeah, I'm watching it. So, yeah, I'm checking it out so you don't have to. I mean, I'm giving you the beats. It's pretty basic here. This one's kind of quick. Basically, then she's in that little kid who's a terrible actor, who's Hera's son, who he looks totally human. Now she's got the fucking tentacles and she looks like an alien, but the son is 100% human. So I don't know. Don't get that one. That one makes no sense. You would think he would look half alien, right? Like maybe looking half alien. But he's got force powers, and they're at that cliff, and he hears the lightsaber battle from the previous episode. So then says she's in the water or something, and then obviously, as this is bad storytelling, we all know that they'll find
water.
her.
Don't fall for that.
They're gonna find her in the water off the cliff. So it's like we know what happens. It's like the suspense is terrible. This is also a big issue I have with new Star Wars and a lot of new things in general. I mean, it's just bad storytelling across the board for a lot of things. And these Star Wars fans are used to bad storytelling. But I'll kind of get to that. But yeah, then it cuts back to the Anakin Ahsoka dream state thing, which is, kind of cool, kind of not. And they have like a little lightsaber battle, and they like this like bridge, this dream bridge that they're on. I think actually, hold on, let me say. I think there's some. This dream
like
bridge.
Super Mario, some rainbow shit.
Yeah, actually, kind of does look like a Mario Kart level. That like collapses.
Did the same thing. I feel like they know that nostalgia is there. It's Nintendo gamer shit and superhero shit. It's the same market.
Yeah, actually, I really didn't like what this was. I mean, I don't like this at all. Just because I'll get to it with my final thoughts. But this whole bridge collapses, and they go back to this scene, which is it's from the Clone Wars. It's a battle. And we see the young Ahsoka, because Ahsoka in the show is like 13 or something, 13, 14. So we see this young Ahsoka, who's played by, I think, the girl who played Gamora in the flashbacks in the Avengers Marvel shit. It's like a green little girl, so she's in face paint again. But this is a whole recreation of the Clone Wars episode, one of the battles. So that's also why all these like fanboys love it, because it was sort of the live action Clone Wars scene, at least. So you got that for a little bit. And I mean, I get it. If you want to have a full live action Clone Wars, that'd probably be better than this. But that's what this was. This was that to kind of show that. And then kind of flashes back to Hera and the Asian pilot, like I said, who's now in every single series. I don't know his name. I absolutely don't know his name. He's not that important, but for some reason they just keep trying to force him down your throat. They're looking for Ahsoka in the water. Of course, they'll find her once the plot calls for it. The cuts back to this Clone Wars battle. Then there's like a disagreement, and you kind of notice that Anakin sort of changes his look to the Revenge of the Sith era Anakin. And even like in that previous battle I was just talking about before, he really did look like the Clone Wars Anakin, where he's got this kind of like Darth Vader chest plate. Like in the cartoon. It was cool. It was a cool outfit, and they actually put that into live action. So that was kind of, again, I'm sure the fanboys will love that. Yeah, definitely. Now you see it's like a little disagreement between her and him, and then he kind of turns into the Revenge of the Sith Anakin, and then they cut back to that bridge thing, and there's a lightsaber battle between them. Let's see. Oh yeah, here's him with that little chest plate thing. Let's see, like this chest plate thing that's in the cartoon. Then of course there's a lightsaber battle between them in like the bridge. Let's see if I find it. And there was a kind of a cool part. It was very fan servicey. As he's like kind of like going to the bridge, there's these like lightning bursts, lighting kind of things, and he's sort of flashing in between Darth Vader and Anakin. So it looked cool. Like I'll give it that. That was a cool look. Totally for the internet to post onto Twitter to be like, "Oh, this was awesome. Look at this." That's like purely what it was for. No storytelling, just visual stuff to talk about. And then there's a lightsaber battle, and she beats him, and then the dream ends. And then they find her in the ocean, the rebels with the Asian pilot. And of course it has to be, she's like floating in the ocean. Of course it has to be like a girl rebel pilot that pulls her up, because I was thinking like, no way would they have a male rebel pilot pull her up. Like Ahsoka can't be saved by a man. No way of that. That's like they have to have that in there. They're like, no way can she be saved by a man.
Ahsoka doesn't have any kind of sexual interest.
No, she's a Jedi, which is also not really what she was.
A Jedi, like a monk, where you have to be celibate, or a priest.
Yeah, but she never finished her training, and also kind of never
Ahsoka
felt
fuck
like
little boys in the show at all.
No, there's no sexual interest in her. There's no sexual interest in her, which is also kind of like
Ahsoka's
Jedi are boring, man. Jedi are boring. They don't have any like interesting things to them. That's where it's like look at Qui-Gon Jinn in the prequels. He's a boring fucking character. You know, like same with Obi-Wan. They're boring characters. There's, I mean, one way is to say it is stoic. Another way to say it is they're boring. You know, like even Obi-Wan, even in like the original series, wasn't.
What do you think that is?
Kind of boring too.
Like, do you think it's like Liam Neeson not giving a shit about the part and just cashing the check and checking out, or it's just horrible writing and a shitty excuse to keep fucking this corpse dry until George Lucas comes?
Well, I like this Mixplex comment. As a Jedi, you're allowed to use a flesh lightsaber, so you're allowed to use a fleshlight always. So that's what she's using.
Maybe lightsaber?
Who knows what anatomy she has?
If a flesh lightsaber is not already marketed, that's a great sex toy.
I'm sure it is. But speaking of
Liam Neeson, if you want to go in 3 ways, we can invest.
Yeah, we should make that.
I think the flesh lightsaber sounds like a great idea. I gotta actually Google that right now.
I'm telling you, I think George Lucas.
Well, I gotta Google it in incognito mode because I don't need that on my search history.
Yeah, I think George Lucas would say like, "Yeah, I thought of that. I pitched that to Hasbro, and they said no.
No,
I thought it was a little too edgy. I thought it would be good for like San Bernardino area."
When Star Wars was popular, it's when all these sleazy fucking porno theaters were still operating like they were just standard practice. You know, you could go watch Rio Bravo and a bunch of people get rammed in the asshole in a double feature.
Well, Rio Bravo was boring. That's like a boring Western. It's not like that's like a shitty Western.
What are your favorite Westerns?
Unforgiven is the best.
You
Western.
Like spaghettis or more modern stuff?
The best Western I think is Unforgiven, and then I do like
Clint Eastwood.
I do like the Clint Eastwood spaghetti westerns. I think the typical one, Good, Bad, and Ugly, is the best of that series. But I also like Once Upon a Time in the West. That's got the Death Proof guy. What's his name? The guy with the ruddy face.
Death Proof?
Death Proof. Charles Bronson is in Once Upon a Time in the West. That's also a really good one by Sergio Leone. But going back to Liam Neeson.
Thinking, what's that Quentin Tarantino movie with death in the name?
Oh, maybe I said Death Proof. I forget. I'm thinking of the other one. Whatever the one that Charles Bronson's in.
Death Wish.
Death Wish. Going back to Liam Neeson, he wanted to be in a Star Wars movie because he's a big fan. So he like didn't care. He was like, I just want to be in your next movie. That's what he kind of told George Lucas.
So maybe that's why he was so bad, because he's just some desperate fanboy to get in the franchise, and he didn't give a shit how bad the part was going to be.
A little bit. I think he's come to regret it. Oh yeah, back to Ahsoka. Oh yeah, so they find her and she gets saved from the ocean. This is, I mean, pretty much the end of the episode, although it's only like halfway through it. Basically, there's then a bunch of slowed down scenes where they're kind of scenes that are for TV, like almost the 90s, where it'd be like these filler scenes. Like X-Files had a lot of that, where you'd have these filler scenes just to kind of make up for, like the runtime. And she finds the Rubik's Cube map and has a flashback of what happened, and then talks to Space Whales to take her to the galaxy where Sabine went.
X-Files is a show I want to go back and rewatch. If I didn't like it because of nostalgia, or it was actually good.
It's actually good. I went and did it a few years ago. It's great.
As an experiment?
No, I mean, I just was like kind of wanted to check back to watch X-Files, and it was only a few years ago when I did it, and I was like, oh, this shit's still really good. And then it also, that 90s TV feel has a cool vibe. That got me into watching like Next Generation, which also has a cool 90s Next Generation is like a relaxed feeling. That whole movie. That movie's like that whole show is like watching or it's like the literal feeling of
It's like
having like a
soap operas
warm
for
blanket
nerds,
over you.
right?
Was that?
It's like soap operas for nerds.
Kinda. It's just like a very
You know, who's
comforting
gonna
kind of
fuck who,
show.
what villains coming across, and then tension.
Yeah, it's just like kind of. Well, it's also there's not about 10. It's a very slow show. It's like a slow burn, but it's like cool. I mean, like there's like you can kind of sometimes hear just space in the background, and it has like an ambient. Like it's a kind of like
It's
an
almost
ambient.
like a mental laxative.
Yeah, it's like honestly like it's like it's like a sci-fi ambient album. You know, that's how I would explain the Next Generation. To compare it to like
To the Next
music or
Generation.
something. Yeah, it really is. It's kind of like an ambient
Hey kids,
version
you
of
want to
sci-fi.
listen to some space age ambient album to fall asleep to?
Oh yeah, here's Ahsoka getting out of the ocean. Oh jeez. Yeah, so she finds the cosplay Hera Elizabeth Winstead here, and then they go off and they talk to space whales. She actually talks to them in like telepathy, and then they go inside a space whale mouth with the ship, and then I guess they're gonna go off, and that's the episode. That's basically
Space
it.
what?
Space whales. They're right here. They kind of look like sperm.
Oh, I thought you said space whale.
Yeah, I did. Space
Whale
whales.
or whale?
WHALES.
Yeah, no, I thought you were talking about like some economic, they're farming stuff out of a well.
No, talking about space whales.
This looks
literally.
like the Matrix with all the squibs and sentinels.
Yeah, it's stupid. Yeah. So my big takeaway of this is the episode they decided to put into theaters. Like, I don't really see why. Maybe because Dave Filoni made it, and it's like he gets his way. I kind of think that's what it is. It's
Well,
like kind
Hayden
of stroking himself off.
Christensen's a big fucking draw. I know that.
And I mean, he was really good in it. He actually was good in it. His character
Really?
is
Wow. He's probably never heard that before.
no,
No.
he was really good
Don't
in
say
it.
it too
I have
loud.
to say, like, I don't like him in the prequels. I don't see any really redeeming thing. Maybe it was George Lucas, but the character felt different. It's almost like I wish they did this character in the prequel series because it would have been a little more interesting. It's like there's a little more depth to the character. I don't know if it's that he's been away from the character for a while and we figured it out, or maybe it's Dave Filoni's directing, or maybe it's like kind of watching the Clone Wars and kind of going off of that. Because even in the Clone Wars, Anakin's character is like more interesting. So like that is a thing. He is not interesting in the prequels. So I don't know if it's that, but he was definitely the most interesting character. Also, during these lightsaber fights, and people have been talking about
Passed
this.
out?
Rosario Dawson is not good at like lightsaber fights. She looks like really fucking slow. She does
It's
not
probably
look.
because her tits are too big. They get in the way, almost like a golf club. You know.
She just doesn't look. I mean, like
I've heard big-titted
she's not
women
good.
have a difficult time trying to drive a golf club because it gets in the way.
Besides, she's just not good at it, and it's like noticeably she's like kind of like Alec Guinness in like the 70s, where it's like an old man fighting. You know, she's not good, and she's supposed to be like the best top Jedi out there. Like, I don't get it.
Well, she's topping, all right.
I mean, I know I remember this going back to like the prequel shit, because I had the DVDs and the special features, and like I guess the fight coordinator guy said how like Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen were like really good. Like they got really good at like doing this fake sword fighting. So I mean, maybe just Hayden Christensen's really good at it too, because he makes her look like shit. Like that was kind of noticeable because he's good at it.
I think every prepubescent man has been fake sword fighting their entire life. You know.
Oh yeah, but there was a whole like thing like Ewan McGregor and Anakin or like Hayden Christensen were like amped up for that last fight in the last prequel movie. We're on that little like lava planet.
What's amped up mean? They were on Adderall?
Probably. I mean, I think I heard they were just like they went like all out for that. Like there was no like they went full force. There was no like holding back. I mean, I know they're doing like wooden
like
swords,
sort of
but
pressing their face. They like pushing a little bit harder.
no, I think they were honestly pretty like the word is, it was pretty like they just absolutely weren't holding back. They were like pretty, they're kind of like athletic athletes in that kind of scenario. They were just kind of going for it. If like you got fucked up during it, that was gonna happen. It's like Aragorn, man, when he gets that. When Aragorn had that thing thrown at him, he actually had to like bat it away. I hate
What thing?
Vigo.
Epstein's cock? Oh, okay.
No. Let me see. Oh yeah, this is real. I gotta play this. This is real. This really happened on set. I mean, if you're a Lord of the Rings nerd, you kind of know this, but
in the Lord of the Rings, did you know? In the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring, during the fight scene between Lurtz and Aragorn, two pretty badass things happen, and they were both unscripted. The first of which is when Lurtz licks the blood from his sword. This was not in the script, but when the actor did it, it looked awesome, and they kept it in the film. The second unscripted moment was when Lurtz throws his dagger directly at Aragorn's face. Lurtz was supposed to throw his dagger at Aragorn, but it was supposed to miss by a good deal, and later, with the help of a different camera angle, they'd make it look like it was a much closer call than it actually was. However, the actor playing Lurtz completely misjudged his aim and ended up throwing a metal prop knife directly at Viggo's head. Thankfully, due to Viggo's quick reflexes and apparently samurai-like swordsman skills, he deflected the knife, and no camera trickery was needed. Peter Jackson, of course, kept this in the film, as it's one of the most cool and authentic scenes throughout the entire saga.
Yeah, it was like purely real.
Fuck up.
No, it was everyone talked about it. It was like they were really like as soon as it happened, they were scared. No, I believe that.
Metal and prop is an oxymoron.
No, it was. I mean, he also, Aragorn broke his
metal
toe.
prop shit. Like it's got to be rubber.
Oh, it was real, man. Like part of even that, it was supposed to be real.
Is that why Alec Baldwin shot somebody in the chest accidentally?
Yeah, well, it's like when you're using a weight of something, like you can't throw like a rubber sword the same way you could throw like a real weighted thing, But he also broke his toe. His toe in a.
How much? So that crow motherfucker who got shot, was that a prop bullet?
No, but also Viggo.
Was that an assassination? Do you think?
Could be, man. People think that
the family just wanted that motherfucker dead so they can get the money from the estate.
People think that. Here's Viggo. He breaks his toe. Yeah.
I just threw that out there. I didn't know there was any kind of.
Yeah, there's thought of that. People think this is actually where Viggo Mortensen breaks his toe, and that's actually why when he yells out here, it's like a real scream because
breaks him on what?
He breaks his toe when he kicks this helmet. And like the screams.
I thought all the helmets were like rubbery prop shit.
No, that was made by like that fucking Weta man who like took everything so seriously. There's this documentary of these guys.
Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe shit too.
Yeah, they just didn't really do as much of like authentic shit with that. There's these two guys that did chainmail for 2 years. Like they were like going crazy. They literally had to make chainmail for 2 years. There's like a little mini documentary on
Was that like macrame?
I think it's like macrame with steel rings, and they were like doing it for 2 years. It's like they were going crazy.
What is it?
They said how they're going nuts.
In the end, it's just glorified knitting.
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, the whole thing of bringing back Anakin in a dream sequence to me is really fucking cheap. To me, that's a cheap. Like any dream sequences in general are cheap. It's like this was just a cheap way to put him fucking in it. Give some fan service. So that's also like why I don't like it. I understood all the reference that were happening. I know I've seen Clone Wars, so I know it was happening. And I agree with what Mixplex is saying. It's nice to see Hayden Christensen getting some love, and it's true. He was good in it. And even in the Obi-Wan show, he was pretty good. This is also why, like, why not do a fucking Darth Vader show? Or like why not do exactly the Clone Wars and have Hayden Christensen looks like the same. You could do a Clone Wars show. He looks the same. You really could do that whole live action show. That would probably be interesting. Like it'd be more interesting than what they're doing now. And like I said, a Luke Skywalker show. Why not like a Han Solo show? Why not show the stuff we wanted to see in the sequels that you didn't show? Maybe show like the main people, like Luke, Han, and Leia, and some kind of show. That'd be cool. That's what the extended universe was always all about with the book series. But this is also just like there's bad storytelling going on. That's the thing with these Star Wars fans these days. They're used to bad storytelling. I would say it goes on with a lot of things. There's a lot of fandom that they've now just become used to it. It's sad. Clone Wars isn't that good. These people that are liking that are liking it just because they want to like something. I feel like I don't know. It's nothing that great. There's just too many prerequisites to this show. Where you have to watch Clone Wars and you have to watch Rebels. And Dave Filoni and Kathleen Kennedy said before the show came out that you wouldn't have to see Rebels or Clone Wars. But what the fuck? If I didn't see any of this, I would be like, what the fuck is happening? Why is this connected? Also, what is Ahsoka? I'd be like, if I didn't see this, I'd be like, what the fuck is this girl? Or is she an alien? Like, can someone explain it? Even Chewbacca was like explained in like the first movie. Like they explained sort of briefly what a Wookiee is. I'd like to know what the fuck she is. Like you have to take this in consideration that people look at this and like, what the fuck is this? So I kind of hated this episode. Hated this for this series. I'd still give this whole show a 6 out of 10. So I'd still say this is a watchable episode. 6 out of 10 is sort of what this has been riding on this whole for me. Like 65. This is a D plus kind of show. I mean, I guess D. That makes sense. Like Disney Plus, but D plus for sure in grading and Disney Plus. Yeah, I'd say don't watch it, and you'd probably be better off. But I started watching the One Piece anime, and have to say they really do stay true to the anime. I'm not crazy about the anime because it is anime and it just doesn't do it for me. It's nice to see in the Netflix show that they really it's literally 3-dimensionalized the character and also like internalized 3-dimensionally because the characters feel a lot deeper. There's so much like anime just feels so surface level, which I think is fine because I think that's the format. It's like a comic. You can only get so much across in a couple frames, So what they do in the anime, I think, is fine, and it is really old school looking. This anime came out in 1999, so when I was watching, I was like, "This is kind of crappy." You see a lot of like background characters or drawings that are not moving, and they're just sort of stationary. Like anime is cheap. This is a cheap anime. Yeah, Marvel's VFX team is unionized. Maybe the Star Wars one's next. Probably. I wouldn't be surprised if they're using the similar VFX teams and studios. Although, like Marvel's, I don't know. Maybe that's also kind of why Disney's been going for shows rather than movies because they don't have to deal with as much teams. Like when you make a 2-hour movie, you need a lot more teams and agents. Like you have to go to a VFX agency. You're gonna need tons more of that. Maybe they're like, we do a 30-minute show. We can kind of cut down on that. That could be part of it. I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's much hope for Star Wars, unfortunately. I think also it's like if they did like I said it, like why not do a Darth Vader show? Why not do a Luke show? Even if they would, they'd probably make it bad. Like it's stupid thinking. Oh, also I have to bring this up. I got to bring this up. So when Ahsoka comes back from the water scene where she drowns, she's all in this white robes and she's kind of supposed to be like Gandalf. And even Dave Filoni, like a couple months ago, said that Ahsoka, he's comparing her to Gandalf, and I'm like, oh fucking god. I mean, I guess it's like a rebirth kind of thing, but it's
like Dune shit.
Dumb. What is that?
The new Dune. It looks like the new Dune shit a little bit.
Well, Dune is. Well, I mean, Star Wars ripped off Dune from the first place. Frank Herbert came out with Dune in the '60s, so George Lucas knew of that for sure.